Because they come out as masculine, and are you afraid that this may affect your personal life?
I wish it did, man. I wish it did.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
So let's welcome our guest in studio today. So hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Very fine, thank you. How are you?
I am doing great. So welcome to Blue Radio. Kindly tell us your names. Your name.
My name is Selina.
Yeah.
Owakmabi. Most commonly known as Dadah. I'm the founder, proprietor of ARK Peanuts.
Yes. What is ARK Peanuts all about?
Okay, so at ARK Peanuts, we process nuts and seeds and oil seeds. So we have peanuts, we have cashews, we have sesame seeds, and we process those into roasted. For the peanuts and the cashews and the sesame seeds, we have roasted. And then we have their buttered form, so peanut butter, cashew nut butter, and sesame butter, which is also tahini. And then we also do kashata.
Oh, wow.
And baobab seeds, mabuyu.
So why did you decide to venture into that business?
I was introduced to this business by a friend of mine called Christine Wanjiro. And I started this business as a way to survive a difficult financial season in my life. So when I started, I didn't really start it as a business. I started it as a source of livelihood for myself, just so that I can put a meal on the table and buy my son some diapers and other bare necessities. I didn't really start it to have a business, no. It was to survive.
So for how long has your business been running?
I've been in operation for 5 years. This is actually my 6th year. I did 3 years I was in cottage. That meaning I was working from home. And then after 3 years, I opened a factory in Ngong town of Kajiado County. And I've been operating that factory for the last 3 years.
So you've said a friend of yours introduced you to this business. Did you go for any formal education, or you just picked up the knowledge that your friend impacted you with?
My background before I started a business, my background is in business management. I studied a degree course in Moi University. I took tourism management, which is a business course. It's run like a business course, but with tourism aspects to it. And then I got formally employed. And in my employment, I've done things ranging from marketing to management, training, human resource. So with quality assurance and with that background, I was able to, to set my business running in a way that would allow it to grow and thrive in the economy in Kenya the way it is right now.
So do you only manufacture goods to use locally, or are there goods that you import?
There are goods that we import. Actually, the bulk of the profit that we make is from peanuts, and peanuts are imported. We import peanuts from Malawi.
Okay.
Yes. We import peanuts from Malawi. Unfortunately, the peanuts that come from within are very pricey. So we find that the peanuts that we get from Malawi are, first of all, they are very well graded. So you get a consistent size for each batch that you buy, and then the quality is better, and the price is very, very, very affordable. So we import that, but we get our cashew nuts from Kilifi. We used to get them from Thika, but then the quality became a challenge. So we get them directly from the farms in Kilifi, and we support farms there. And we get our sesame seeds locally as well. And the baobab and the coconut we acquire locally as well.
So what are the health benefits of the peanut?
Okay, so peanuts have many benefits. Of course, they are plant protein. So in terms of how much toxins remain in the body after digestion, peanuts are plant proteins are better than animal proteins. So of course, that being peanuts in there, they're a natural healthy snack. They have a fat content. They have an oil content that is quite high, but the oil that peanuts have actually fights cholesterol. So it's good oil. It's good for the body. It's good to fight cholesterol, to reduce the chances of heart problems, heart conditions. So in terms of healthy snacking, when you're looking at peanuts, the roasted peanuts as a snack, it's a very healthy snack. Even the cashew nuts, very good oil, very good for reduction of cholesterol, very good snack. The sim, we make them into brittles, amazing snack. We use sugar to form them, sugar. Sugar is not very good, but the quantity that we use for the brittles is very, very little. And sim has super antioxidant properties. So it helps to clean the blood. It's a blood cleaner, literally. And then it helps with indigestion. So for people who have children who are complaining of bloating, or they just can't seem to want to eat food. Usually when children don't want to eat, it's because they are dreading going to the toilet. So if you give them a biscuit of sim like daily, it helps with the digestion. Even for us adults, it helps with the digestion. All the products that I make help with lactating mothers. It's very good for milk production. And all the products that we make can be used to cook food. So you can add peanuts to food. You can add peanut butter to food. You can add cashew butter to food. And you have healthy eating all the way, whether as a snack or as a food.
As a lady in business for almost 6 years, how has the game been for you?
Oh, I love my job. I think business has been very, very kind to me. Okay, of course there's challenges. I think it helps that I'm very I'm a go-getter. I'm a very strong lady. So it helps that I'm very headstrong and I'm clear about what I want. But generally business has been good to me. I have a heart for people. I love interacting with people. I love offering solutions. So for me, my business is also a channel and a platform for me to meet with people and just talk to them and market and tell them about these fantastic things that I'm doing at ARK Peanuts. I really enjoy it, even on a day when probably the sales will not be so good, that I got to meet people. For me, that's enough. So business has been very kind to me. We've had a struggle at the beginning of this year with the prices of the peanuts and currently with the prices of the cashews, but it was expected because of the rising prices of fuel, because it's an import. So it's been a huge challenge this beginning of this year. It was a huge challenge just trying to set our footing straight. We are still struggling a little bit with the cash flows and finances, but generally business has been kind to me.
So how do you source for labor in your organization?
Currently, I work with women, so not by design, by the way, it's just by chance, and I love it. How I have been sourcing, there's because where my factory is, there's a lot of traffic. So when people come to the shop and they express interest to have a job, I usually take their records. So I have a database of people who would want jobs. So when there is an opening, I review my database and I see who would be best placed for that role that is is in need of placement. And I would call, usually it's 2 or 3 people, and then I would do a placement depending on who best suits the role and of course my working environment.
So with more advanced technology, how do you ensure that your employees are well equipped with modern technologies and different things in the technology world?
So we actually have been trying to do an app for sales. I have a sales lady, and we have a challenge collecting data from the field when she goes to sell, because sometimes we need real-time data so that we can know how much stock we have and how much we need to replenish before the day is done, so that we can do it in time for the next day's orders and deliveries. So but generally my staff are very well versed technologically, because we operate like at the shop, we process using machines. That needs some level of skill that we train. When the staff comes, we usually train them on how to use the machines. I do the record. Currently, I do the record keeping myself. But when there is need, of course, I would train my staff on how to use this technology, these apps, and they would be able to do it. So it's just training upon need-to-need basis.
So we've seen there is an award that you got for Manufacturer of the Year. Can you kindly tell us about the award?
So I was privileged to be nominated for Founder of the Year, Manufacturing Founder of the Year category this year in March. So we went through the process successfully, and of course by votes and by adjudication, 60% votes and 40% adjudication, and we were very excited.
I can see that on your face.
Win. Yes, Manufacturing Founder of the Year Africa. So I like to say that sometimes when winning is by votes, people are not sure they're voting for the best person. Maybe they're just voting for the most vocal person, or the person who looks the best or sounds the best, But for me, people actually voted for, I believe that people actually voted for someone who is worthy, because we work so hard at ARK Peanuts. We work so hard to ensure that the product is excellent. We, despite the challenges, we keep our doors open every day. We show up, we put our best foot forward. We go out, we sell, we go for exhibitions, we go for pop-up markets. We really put ourselves out there, and we really do our very best So I feel like I'm very grateful to everybody who voted for me, because they believed that this is what we do. Some of them don't know me, and they don't know my company, they don't know what I do, and they can't prove that I deserve it, but they still voted. So I'm really so grateful, and I just want to reiterate that certainly that award went to a person who deserves it. Yes, so I'm very, very glad.
So in case you're tuning in right now, that is the founder of ARK Peanuts factory, and you remember you can send in your questions via our social media pages at Blue Radio KE on Instagram. We are taking a quick commercial break, but we'll be back with more. And in case you're a lady in business, you should not miss this amazing interview. Yeah, send in your requests, whatever music you want to play, whatever music you want the DJ to play for you, atakuchezea. So back to our interview for the day. So welcome back. So before we went on a break, we were talking about your award. So how has this award changed your business?
Winning Fire for me was not really about changing my business. I think for me it was just I needed affirmation. I needed to get something so that I can have a platform, to stand on and say that yes, I've been putting in blood, sweat, and tears into this thing for the last 6 years, and good things do happen. Good things do happen. So apart from just being manufacturer of the year Africa, I feel energized. I feel a new zeal, like I am raring to go. Like there's nothing that can stop me. Then I won Fire, and I am now in a group of amazing founders, amazing entrepreneurs who are also winners in their own right, and actual winners. So just the networking alone to see business from different points of view, and to understand business environments from people outside Kenya and outside East Africa, just to have a platform where we can share our challenges and our successes. And we actually have fun. We talk like peers. We support one another. We laugh, we cry, we argue, we agree. So it's amazing to be amongst so to speak, the greats. So yeah, that's what I feel Foya has done for me. It's opened up Africa for me, and the challenge for me is to take advantage of the platform that it has given me, and to make sure that I use it as best as it can be used. So just to get more platforms to share my story, to share my business story, and my personal story where it's important, and to encourage people that yes, no matter how small you think your thing is, it can be great. It can be as great as you want it to be. Yeah,
I really love how you're talking about your business so passionately. I can see it in your face. So what are some of the challenges that you faced as a woman in leadership?
The challenges are many. Challenges are every day. I will talk about my mental space, because I feel like has been my most recent challenge. When you're an entrepreneur, there's a lot that's expected from you. You're especially when you're a woman, just being a woman on its own is a challenge just on its own. And then you add children, you add employees, and then you add your hormones there, You add a factory. Running a factory is not like this. There are businesses that are a bit less intense, but this is a factory, so you have to be on your best every day because there's quality assurance that is involved here. There is timelines, there is machinery, so there's a lot of safety requirements. You need to be at your best and in your best shape every single minute of the day. So for me, it's really taken a toll on my mental health. Sometimes I wake up and I'm drained from just the calculation of how much stock is required against how much the orders are. Just that calculation alone, it phases me, and then you add onto that you add your daily struggles as a woman. You have to be a mom, you have to be present, you have to be I'm also involved in the ministry in church, so you have to be there, and sometimes people don't really get you or don't take the time to get you. So there's a lot of there's a lot of misunderstanding, there's a lot of judgment because you do not behave the way I behave. Like sometimes we forget that the standard is Christ, it's not a person. So there's just it's draining emotionally, it's draining mentally. And sometimes I forget to do, like I was sharing with someone that you need to do like 8 to 10 affirmations in the morning before you get up. I will be one of the greatest. This is the promise from God. This is the vow. You have to do like 8 affirmations before you actually turn and put your feet on the ground. And then when you put your feet on the ground, you do another 16. Everywhere I step, I will possess, So I mean, sometimes you just get tired. You just wake up in the morning and like, no, I can't do those things. You go back to bed, you sleep until 3 p.m. So it can be, I think that's, for me, that's a major challenge, because these other things, these other challenges, every business is going through them right now in Kenya. Challenges of understanding tax, the economy, the shilling against the dollar. Those are common challenges. But nobody really wants to talk about the wellness of your mind, because if you have a strong mind, you can face all these challenges, because you know that they will come and they will go.
Yeah.
Because you've survived 100% of the challenges you have faced till now, because you're still here. So you've survived 100%, meaning you have a track record of surviving. But what's going on in your mind, that's the challenge. Yeah, just to make sure that your mind is at peak all the time. That's the challenge.
You say that you're a mom, you're a minister, so how are you able to balance between your personal and professional life?
It's crazy. I don't really think I'm able to balance. It's crazy. So I try as much as possible to live near where my factory is, so that I can do those mad dashes in the middle of the night, just run from one place to the other. But recently I moved far, because I found that living close to the shop was also becoming a challenge to my mental health. Because whenever I would get insomnia, and I know entrepreneurs understand this, don't pretend that you don't. Sometimes you can't sleep. So I find that when I can't sleep, I would go to the factory and I would work. Sometimes I would work 3 days back to back. And that's not good.
That's not good for your health and your body.
That's not good at all. Yeah. So I moved far so that I cannot be able to go back to the shop in the middle of the night. Yeah. So there's that. So that I moved far so that I can be present for my kids. When I go home, I am at home. And I'm a mom, and I'm nothing else. I for home,
so that I don't get very many client calls and I don't start processing orders in my head when I'm at home. But I thank God that my clients are also very respectful of my working hours. So beyond a certain time, they don't call me, they don't ask for anything. They're very respectful of my working hours, and I thank God for that. My staff as well, they don't call me during odd hours, and I thank God for that. And then ministry, I know the time that I'm supposed to be there. And I also thank God that it's usually very early in the morning. Very early in the morning, I'm at optimum performance. So that has not affected a lot of my program, unless I have work to do over the weekends. Then my ministry and my work, they rarely clash. Those ones are good. I think it's just my home and work balance. That's where the challenge is. But of course, I'm making steps to mitigate, just to make sure that I also respect my children's hours, and I don't allow the factory to steal my children's hours, or vice versa. Vice versa rarely happens anyway. But yeah.
So if given a chance, what would you choose to do differently about your factory?
Given money, I would. I have. My factory has machines. They are machines that I bought out of necessity. They don't really operate at optimum levels. And they make our work so difficult because they don't, if they did what they are supposed to do optimally, then we would reduce our work by close to half, 50%. So I'm currently looking at ways to replace some of those machines, or to improve them, so that they do what they're supposed to do, so that we don't have to repeat it. Because if the machine doesn't do what's supposed to do, we have to do it by hand. So the machine does, and then we do it again by hand. So that's double. We've spent electricity, and then we are also spending labor, and that gives us so much work. On the days that we have huge productions for 100 kilos, 200 kilos, we can stay even 2 days with that thing. But if we had a machine, those particular machines that are working at optimum speeds and optimum performances, then it would take us half a day to finish 200 kilo job, So those are, I think that's the thing that I'll do differently, because currently the other things that I'm doing, the other things that I'm doing right now, I'm doing because I understand the level that I'm at. This is the level I'm at. So I'm still doing my financial recording manually. I'm still doing my HR metrics and my management for the human resource manually. But it's because of the level that I am at, and I understand that. And so to just allow myself to grow to that space where I can get a HR management system, where I can get a financial recording system and reporting system, to allow myself to get to that place where I can do those things, and not to rush myself. Sometimes as entrepreneurs, we rush so much to get these big things and the expensive systems, and then you kill your business because you are not there yet. You are not ready for that kind of expansion. So I'm allowing myself, I'm pacing myself to gradually grow into those levels. But for now, those machines need to go. They need to go.
So there's this notion in the society that strong, independent women intimidate women. So are you afraid that this may affect your personal life in a way?
As strong, independent women intimidate men or women?
Intimidate men.
men.
Yeah, because they come out as masculine. And are you afraid that this may affect your personal life?
I wish it did, man. I wish it did. Oh, I wish it did. I am surrounded by clowns. I wish I could chase a few of them away. Anyway, I think it does. I honestly think it does. There is a courage, a strength, a boldness that you need to cover yourself with when you're a woman in business, because most of the time people don't take you seriously. Yeah, people don't take you seriously. They just, and especially if you're in a business like mine. I mean, I sell njugu. Let's not sugarcoat this thing. I sell njugu. That's what I do. So, when you introduce yourself to someone, you tell they ask you, what do you do? You tell them, I sell njugu. And then they're looking at you. They're like, okay, so you sell njugu. Okay. So how do you survive? People forget that you've been surviving. Like, they've met you alive. They've not found you on a deathbed. So you've not been needing them. But it needs you to clothe yourself with some sort of armor so that people can take you seriously. I've not had to do that. I thank God I've not had to change myself. I feel like it's a personality thing. My personality is very friendly and very outgoing. I'm very very chill. Even at my office with my staff. In fact, there are people who don't know that the business is mine. They think one of my shop assistant, she has a more stern face than mine. So they think the business is hers. They think I'm employed. So I think my personality has allowed me to be approachable, accessible. I thank God I've not had to change really. And also, I would say, I would really like to thank at this point my dad. And it's not a shout out. I'm just saying, like, literally, it's at this point that I thank my dad. My dad has really drilled it into me, my worth. I know who I am. And I don't need anybody else to tell me who I am. So whether you think I have value or not, whether you think I'm successful or not, it's not important to me. All that is important to me is what I think of myself. And what I think of myself is the affirmations I do in the morning. Yeah. And what the Bible says about me. So I really don't, I have not had to change who I am, because I know who I am. I am sure I am loved. I am sure I am valued. In fact, I don't live, my father doesn't live very far from Nairobi. So when I feel like I'm stressed and everything, the weight is too much, I just take a trip. I just take a trip down. I go, I sit with him. I don't even tell him like I'm having a bad week or a bad day. I just sit there, and by the time I leave there, I've remembered who I am. Or I give him a call, and we just have a conversation about all sorts of random things. He tells me the way the chicken were eaten by the dogs. He tells me the way the paint is chipping from the walls. We talk about all sorts of random things. And by the time we're done with that conversation, I've remembered who I am. And then I'm okay. So it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks of me. I know who I am. But I do understand that there are people who don't have that kind of support. So they have to clothe themselves with an armor so that they look like they are legit, like they are serious. And it's unfortunate because independent women, strong women are really the most delightful people you'll ever meet. Under that armor, they are really the best people you'll ever meet. They are very kind. Most of them anyway, they are very kind. They are very understanding because they've been through things. So they can relate and they can understand, they can empathize. So yeah, it's unfortunate that sometimes we have to do that, but I thank God that I've not really ever had to do that. Yeah.
So there are the people with the notion that for you to be healthy and live a comfortable life, you have to do expensive things and everything. So what is your take on that?
Expensive things. I don't think I have any expensive thing. Depends on what expensive is.
No, like, let me. I said, let me put my question in simpler terms. There are people with the notion that for you to live a healthy lifestyle, you have to have the most expensive equipment, gadgets, and everything. So I ask, what is your take on that?
People define success in different ways. And everybody's opinion is valid, you know. I think if it was in my disposal, if I had like a lot of money and I could afford expensive things, I probably wouldn't see a problem with having expensive things. So it's really a point of where are you standing? Because if you're standing at a vantage point of a place where you've never really had lack of anything, when you needed a new watch, you could afford it. When you needed a new phone, you could get it. When you saw a new shoe, a hush puppy at Bata, you could buy it. When you saw a new Mercedes, because this one is old, let me just replace it. So for that person who's at that place, they probably don't look at it as a need to have expensive things. It's just that they can afford it. They're not thinking too much about it, you know. But for someone who's not at that level, probably their level is at, if they want to buy a crate of eggs, they can afford it, you know. If they want to buy a kilo of meat, they can afford it. And you know, for someone else who's much lower, this person who's buying a crate of eggs and a kilo of meat could actually be living it up according to them. You understanding? But this person who's buying a crate of eggs and a kilo of meat is also desiring to live it up like the person who's buying the Mercedes. But they are not really, it's not like they're thinking about it. They're like saying, I want this affluence. I want to have the best things. It's just that it's levels. If you're at that level, and you desire to have better things, I feel like it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, as long as you don't let it give you anxiety or give you discontentment with what you have. For you to always remember that there is someone who has it worse, and there will always be someone who has it better. There will always be someone who has it better. So even as you chase, to just remember that you should be content with where you are, because there's always someone who has it worse, and there will always be someone who has it better. Yeah.
So my one final question before we wrap up this is, as a lady in business, have you ever experienced any discrimination from the male people in the same industry with you? No.
Imagine, no, not one. Or I've not noticed it, but no, I have never. I have never met someone who's discriminated me because of what I do. Also because if you interact with me, you will know that I don't allow it. Because I'm very sure I know who I am. So and I speak very sternly. And I know how to articulate myself and my expectations and my desires. So I've never really been in a position where someone has looked down on what because there's a lot of clarity in my head about where I'm going. Despite what is visible right now, despite where I am right now, I might look like I've not reached those levels that that other people have reached, but I know where I am going, and I am actually very content with where I am, and I'm scaling. I know I'm working towards it every day. I'm working towards it. So I've never really, can I say, given someone an opportunity to look down on me, because I stand tall. You can't look down unless you're standing on 3 stools. You really cannot look down on me. I stand very tall. Yeah.
So what are your final words to, probably there's a young lady out there who is afraid of venturing into business because they're scared of, what will people say? Do I have the capability to overcome all the storms?
So I will tell our listeners and our viewers one thing that has helped me. Sometimes I don't have everything figured out. Not sometimes, many times. I don't have everything figured out. I just know what I want to see at the end and where I am. I don't see anything else. In the middle, it's hazy because the middle needs finances, it needs other resources, it needs people, and I probably don't have that. But I have learned in my business journey and in life in general, sometimes you have to do it afraid. Okay? Just do it afraid. Like, just do it. You're not sure how this thing is going to pan out, and you just know how you want it to end, and you know where you are. Just make a step. Just get up and make a step. I was being challenged by a friend of mine yesterday, actually. She was telling me, you could be waiting for God to do something, and God is also waiting for you to do something. So do your part, get up and do something. If you have an idea, regardless of what it is. I started my business with 2 kilos of peanuts. 2. I think if you've been listening to the whole kilos now, sometimes it gets to even half a ton. But I started with 2 kilos. And if I would have despised this thing when I was starting, I wouldn't be where I am. And even when I was starting, there was so much doubt. There was so much, actually there was fear. Because even as I was starting, there was no support from my home, from like my nuclear home. There was no support. I was alone. And I was afraid. I kept doubting myself. I kept doubting my capabilities, but I did it anyway. I used to get up with those doubts, with those fears, and I used to go and I would do something with the strength that God had given me for that day. And it helped me to build what I have right now, which is an empire. It might not look like it, but it is an empire. So if you sit down, what will you change? There's nothing that will change in your situation. So just get up. With those things that you have, whatever it is, those viazi karai, those ukwaju juice, the cold water, with that cooler, get up with that thing, go out, do something. Do something, whatever it is you can do that day, do it. And in the evening, when you get back to your house, even if you've not done what you had targeted, console yourself with this. You put your best foot forward. If you put your best foot forward and still you didn't make the sales that you wanted to make, don't feel bad. Feel very, very proud because you put your best foot forward, and that is all that can ever be asked of you. Just put your best foot forward and do it every single day. One day, something is going to give. Something will give. Yeah.
So in case people want to place their orders, where can they do it?
So we are on Facebook as ARK Peanuts, always delicious. And we are always delicious. And we are on Instagram as ARK Peanuts _KE. ARK Peanuts is one word, _KE. You can also call me directly on 0781 232 838. And you will hear my lovely voice and I will take your order. what is usually best is a WhatsApp message so that I can send you the whole price list and you can pick what you want. And then we will we will process your order and we will deliver it to you anywhere in Kenya. Anywhere. Yes, we will deliver it to you.
Is it free or at a fee?
So delivery outside Nairobi is charged based on the courier that the client will choose, depending on where the thing is going. Delivery within Nairobi is done by our very able delivery sales ladies, and we charge a small fee unless we are delivering to an office or a church or a school, a congregation where the sales are more than 10 pieces, then we will not charge a delivery fee. But if you're delivering to only one person or below 5 people, we will charge a delivery fee. But if you're delivering to an office environment, we will not charge delivery fee. Delivery to Nairobi CBD is free. Yes. Anywhere else, we charge a courier rate. If you're delivering to an office, more than 10 orders, delivery is free, regardless of where you are.
So where do your prices fall? What is the range? 50 to 100, 100 to 200, where?
Awesome. So for the roasted peanuts, it ranges from as little as 70 shillings for 100 grams to 450 shillings for 1 kilo. And then for the roasted cashews, it ranges from 250 for 100 grams to 1900 for a kilo. For the peanut butter, it ranges from 350 for 500 grams and 600 shillings for a kilo. A 10 kg bucket is 4,800. That's the largest size we do. We do buckets also for hotels, for schools, for churches, associations. We sell buckets. For the cashew butter, it ranges from 1,000 for half a kilo cashew butter and to 2,000 for 1 kilo of cashew butter. And then we also have Sim Brittles at 15 shillings a piece. Yeah, so when you come to the factory, we have economia kadogo. So we sell all these things from as little as 20 shillings. But that's just at the factory. Everywhere else, we have to, of course, because of the quality assurance again and the food health, food safety management system that we have outside the shop, we can only sell in set packages that are pre-packed at the shop. So only at the shop, at the factory, do we sell the economia kadogo. We actually open it up and we weigh it using small sizes. Yeah.
So your social media platforms, one last time, probably somebody missed them out.
Awesome. So on Facebook, we go by ARK Peanuts, always delicious. On Instagram, we go by ARK Peanuts _KE. ARK Peanuts is one name, ARK Peanuts _KE. And our WhatsApp line is 0781 232 838. It's an Airtel line. Yes. When you go to our social media handles, you might find other numbers there. All of them are valid. You can get us on all of them. We usually encourage WhatsApp messaging so that we can send you the price list and you can look at the prices against the product and you make your pick. And then we also have a reference because it's a message. We have a reference of what your order is and then we can fill it accurately. Yes.
So thank you for your time. It was nice and amazing. It was interactive talking to you. We've learned. Personally, I've learned. I'm sure our listeners also picked something from you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Yes.
Okay. Have a blessed evening.
Thank you, you too. I love the yellow. You look so nice and happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Use my number.
I will. I will.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.